All right, so we're checking out the ActBest Speedy. This is another folding electric bike, 20-inch wheels, but they're 20 by 2-inch fat tires, and different brand here. They're called Cool. Never seen or heard of these before. It's kind of an eco brand, I guess. I'm not sure. The motor on here is 1,000 watts peak, but they don't say what the nominal wattage is. It's probably like 750 watts, most likely. And just come in this nice kind of light blue color, kind of a blue-gray color. Obviously, it comes in other colors. Check the link in the description. Black and white, obviously, and some other ones. The fenders are metal. So you got a front metal fender here, one in the rear, and you have a metal rack. I think it's a 150-pound weight limit on the rack, and the bike weighs about 55 pounds. You can see here that we have a front fork suspension. I think this bike originally came out maybe 6 months ago, and that version did not have a front fork suspension or any suspension. I think they may have revised this bike since those videos came out. This is a kind of a new company. It does have a lockout and adjustment, pretty standard. In the frame here in the front, you have some attachment points for like a basket. Nice little handle here for lifting up the bike when it's folded, and you got your standard latch here for folding the bike. Batteries inside the frame right here. It's a 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery. And there is a key underneath here with a spare. You need that to turn. You need to turn on the battery, turn on the bike. Folding pedals, pretty standard here. Shimano Tourney 7-speed derailleur in the back, as well as on the handlebar you have the SIS shifter. We have a half-twist throttle here. Mechanical disc brakes on this one. Pretty standard basic wiring. Cable management here, and the handlebar is pretty much straight across, a little bit of a curve there. Obviously this is my phone for the speed test, so you can ignore that. That's not included. You have a display here, pretty standard basic here, black and white. You have your battery level, speedometer, odometer, and pedal assist levels. There's 5 levels of pedal assist. We'll do a speed test, of course. Get your headlight button here and your horn. Ooh, that's pretty loud. Standard, pretty standard ergonomic grip here for the handlebar. Seat here is pretty cushy. Not really that wide, but seems to be pretty comfortable, though there's no rear suspension, no seat post suspension. It's a pretty basic bike. I think it's around $500 on their website, but I did see the black version of this one on Amazon for like 300 something. So you are looking for a good deal. That's a pretty good price for a bike that has a 48 volt system. Got a headlight here in the front. It's got 4 LEDs. Here's the brake light in the back. There's no turning indicators. Anyway, they're claiming a range of up to 50 miles total, which is about right for a 10 amp hour battery. It's probably on pedal assist level 1 or 2, something kind of, going kind of slow. And obviously, if you're doing full throttle, no pedaling, you're going to get something less. I would estimate, based on the specs, somewhere around 20 miles at most. Here's a quick look at the disc brake. Here's I think it's a 160 millimeter rotor. Can't quite make out the labeling in there. It says, I think it's Ying. Obviously some sort of a Chinese off-brand. Probably, this is a pretty basic mechanical disc brake. It works fine. I did ride it a little bit. As long as you're not going too fast, it should be okay. And then a little strange, the bike does seem to be limited to about 20 miles an hour. We'll do a speed test here. I'll show you that. Although on the Amazon webpage, just say 28 miles an hour. So we're going to get to the bottom of that. Let's go ahead and do the speed test and figure that out. Okay, so starting off in pedal assist level 1. And my GPS says it's 7 miles an hour. Seems to be matching. Yeah, matching the bike speedometer fairly well. My pedal assist level 1. All right, so hitting a top speed 9 miles an hour and pedal assist level 1. Let's go to level 2. All right, we're hitting about 12 on the GPS, and on the bike computer it's saying about 11.2. So we're having a little bit of it sort of spreading out of the values there. Now it's saying about 12.5, 12.9. It's kind of lagging on the bike computer. It's catching up. All right, let's go to level 3. Gearing all the way up here. Yeah, it definitely has a cadence sensor. I'm freewheeling already, but we're up to 18 miles an hour on level 3. 17.7, 17.5 on the bike computer. All right, let's go to level 4 here. $20 miles an hour. Now I'm freewheeling, and so it's 21 on the GPS and about 20 and a half on the bike computer in level 4. All right, we're going to level 5 now. I'm geared all the way up. 17, 20. I'm freewheeling now. 21, 22. 23. So 23 on the GPS. 24. All right. So it was about 24 in the GPS and like 23 and a half on the bike computer. It's a little laggy in the bike computer, but about the fastest I could get it going. So on the website it says it was 22. On Amazon it says 28. Usually it's either 28 or 20. Like 28 is class 3 and 20 is class 2. So it's probably unlocked for class 3, and that's why I'm able to get up to 24. All right, so now let's do a throttle only test. And on level 1, I think, if I remember right, it's just going to match whatever the pedal assist speeds are. It doesn't give you full power on throttle only. You have to adjust your pedal assist level. So now we're on level 2. I'm going, was at 8 miles an hour. Now we're at 11, 12. All right, topping out at about 12. Let's go to level 3, and yeah, it's going to be about the same as when you're pedaling. Although you can get a little bit more speed when you're pedaling because you're actually helping the motor out. So we're at 17 on level 3. It's throttle only. Level 4. I think we should be hit about 20 on level 4. 19, 20. All right, level 5. Throttle only. 21. 22. 23. 24. All right. So that was the max. So on throttle, on the different pedal assist levels, you have basically the same speed as when you're pedaling. So some bikes will give you full power on throttle only, and this one matches the pedal assist levels. All right, so do a quick little ride here and talk about how I feel about the bike in comparison to some of the other ones I've ridden before. A playlist of other e-bikes that I've reviewed down in the video description if you're curious about some of the other ones that I reviewed. when I talk about how this one compares. So first off, I just want to talk about the price. I think for something that's 48 volts and up to 1,000 watt motor, if you can pick this up for 300, something a little over 300, which is what the current price is on Amazon for the black version, I highly recommend picking it up. The bike seems to be overall in decent condition. I obviously don't know how long it's going to, in terms of longevity and how it'll be 6 months from now. I will have another update review later, maybe in like 3 months on this bike, and to tell you how it's holding up. But seems pretty solid overall. The welding is solid, compared to I think it's pretty similar to like Engvi as a sort of baseline comparison. Paint job is also pretty solid. The bike's fairly light for something that's 48 volts and 1,000 watts, and also a 10 amp hour battery. And obviously range is going to highly depend on how you use the battery, of course, and how fast you're going. Even though this doesn't have a rear suspension, the seat is pretty comfortable. It does have some big springs, and it has some good cushioning, so no real complaints about the ride, at least on these asphalt surfaces. I may do a video later, maybe take it up in the mountains, because even though it has some skinnier wheels, 20 by 3 inch, you can still take this off-road. Now regarding the assembly of the bike, it was pretty straightforward. Got to put on the front wheel and the front fender and the headlights, and that's pretty much it. I think the rear rack needs to be attached at the back. There's 2 bolts that have to go in, but not terribly difficult. And there's a full assembly video on the product page. So if you go to the product page, link in the description, if you're curious about the bike assembly. It's fairly standard and pretty much the same as a lot of the other e-bikes out there. So no complaints in terms of the build. It took me about 20 minutes to put everything together. It actually takes longer to take all the foam and the zip ties off that come to protect the bike. And the box had some exterior damage to it, but the bike itself seemed to be fine. There wouldn't see any issues. I did have to bend out the derailleur guard a little bit. It was kind of bent in. That's common for a lot of these e-bikes when they get shipped, and they do tell you that in the manual. So check that. Otherwise, you'll notice that you won't be able to get to the higher gears like gear 6 and gear 7. So the brakes on here are mechanical brakes. Obviously, for this price point, kind of to be expected, but they did a pretty good job. Really, no issues, and I didn't have to do any adjustments either out of the box. Sometimes you have to adjust, but this one you didn't have to. Of course, you can't take the battery out if you want to charge it. The charger is, I think, a standard 3 amp, charger. So it takes about 4 to 5 hours to fully charge the battery from empty. But overall, I think pretty solid bike, especially for the money. If you pick this up for a little over $300 on Amazon right now, I say definitely do it. I think it's going to be well within your budget. I haven't seen any other bikes in the 48 volt category with a 10 amp hour battery and 1,000 watt peak motor around that price point. So definitely, if you can't pick it up for that price, and these specs are what you're looking for, then yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think that's going to cover for this video. I will have more content on this one perhaps later. Let me know what you want to see in a future video down in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.